Welcome to Unleashed with Kimberly. I'm your host, Kimberly Anderson, and I am so excited to introduce to you today to Darla Delane, and I will bring her on. Hi!
Hi!
Thank you for being with me today. I'm super excited about this conversation.
Oh, me too, Kimberly. Thank you so much for having me. I love our talks.
Me too. So you were a part of my Unleash Your Inner Goddess virtual summit, and that was an incredible conversation there too. I learned a lot from you, and I'm really excited about our audience learning from you today. But first, share about what you do.
Okay, so I work with powerhouse women who are really wanting to, they've got a really deep desire, this vision that won't go away, that they are committed to, and they want to scale it, and they want a life that they love. It's not about massive action 24/7 in the business to make it happen in that way. It's about this ease and flow of I can have everything that I want. And that's who I work with. And there's several ways we work together. Of course, private coaching. I've done some groups. I just did a challenge last week called the Get It Done Challenge, which was awesome. And we got some things done. And in that was that this is not about massive action. It's about inspired action. So what I love, I'm obsessed with time. I'm obsessed with efficiency and productivity, which sounds very masculine energy, all this. And I'm obsessed with mindset and spirituality and how the brain works and creativity and vibration and all of that feminine energy as well. And so what I do is put the two together. And the balance that is in your life is not this equal amounts of stuff you do. The balance is by balancing your feminine and masculine energies, your left and right brain, your creativity with your systems and structures so that everything works together beautifully. And you get to have this awesome ride of ease and flow, roller coaster when you want it, sitting in the lake, just skimming around when you want it, whatever it is you want when you want it. And this piece about having plenty of time to do everything you want to do and really making sure that what you're doing is in alignment with that. It's not what I should be doing. For women, I just did a post on this last week. For women, we've gotten a little away from some of the shoulds, like, yay us, we're getting there. But what the new problem is, as we feel our power, as we really get in contact with our own permission, we realize there's a whole heck of a lot of stuff we can do. And then comes the problem of doing all you can do rather than doing all you really, really want to do. So now we're sifting, sorting through, and obviously letting go of shoulds, but we're sifting and sorting through all our talents and our skills and our interests and coming up with this beautiful bouquet of what we really, really want. And that then entails the mindset block. Therein comes culture. Therein comes our own thoughts of ourselves, our worthiness, and all those pieces that tend to block us along the way. So as we create this beautiful vision and we put it into a system and structure that supports us, our sweet brain jumps in to protect us from dying. Like, it's like, nope, you've not done that, you might die. And so it's this piece there that now we work through allowing ourselves to have exactly what we want. And that is my business. And so it's within business strategy, it's business coaching, it's also life coaching, but it runs between this creation and this actual having it manifest and the mindset work that we do in between to really allow it happening.
Yeah, it all goes back to mindset. If you're stuck, it's mindset. If it's this, it's mindset. If it's that, it's mindset. It's always mindset. It doesn't matter.
The good news is we do have control. the good news is it is our creation. And the next pitfall becomes this guilt and punishment about why isn't it like I want it? And so then it's my fault. Why am I sick? Well, then it's my fault. Why am I, not in my body like I like? It's my fault. Why don't I have a relation? It's my fault. Well, it's not about fault. It's about just making your way. And so part of the biggest piece I'm really kind of interested in right now is this release of the guilt punishment cycle, especially with what's going on in our world, really looking at where we are taking on guilt and then punishing either ourselves or someone else, or where we are punishing someone and then feeling guilty about it. And what does that do? That keeps you in this little cycle of, anything I want can't get through there. Yeah. And so as we break down guilt and punishment, now that one, wow, talk culturally, like stopping you on that.
Oh yeah.
Right. You shouldn't do that. Like all that stuff comes up. That is where the true warrior priestess is. Like that's where she is. Like she is fighting the battle of what she has programmed in her brain into how to break it back down and get to her truth.
Yeah. And there's a lot of layers to peel back in order to do that, but it's the journey, and it's okay.
Yes.
And breaking free from that guilt, which is a huge piece, because you have guilt, like you said, you have guilt on yourself, you have guilt from culture, you have guilt from all sorts of places, and it causes, you to feel like you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you can't do it. And then you have those beliefs that come in, and it's just, but the good thing is it's mindset. And when you learn that you can change that, and you don't have to feel guilty about not believing a belief that wasn't yours in the beginning to begin with, then, it's very freeing.
It is. And the piece then to cut out is punishing yourself for believing it in the first place. And because then we start being like, I'm smarter than that. What was I doing? Like, how did I get here? How did this happen? And then that gets you to this place of, now I need to just completely let go. It is a radical forgiveness. It is a forgiveness without logic. It is really that extension of forgiveness that really goes to forgetfulness, to forget it, to let it go, which that's a whole other, it's been this, I can forgive you, but I won't forget. Well, why? You're just punishing yourself now. Now there comes the self-punishment, right? Yeah. And in that won't forget, there's some great data in there. So what I love to do is to investigate. And so investigating comes from where we take as much emotion out and look at data. For example, if you've got negative $7,000 in your bank account, for some people, that's going to make them be fearful, right? But it is, and we can look at it like a number. It's just a number. $7 billion in your account or negative 7,000 are just numbers. And you can investigate, well, how did that happen? And where did this come from? And what am I going to do? Now you've got a clearer path to allowing yourself to make whatever shifts you want. But once you feel that fear, which is your key, I don't feel good, I'm in guilt or punishment right now. If I don't feel good, I'm either in guilt or punishment. Rage, jealousy, attack, all that's the punishment phase. And sometimes it's to other people, but sometimes it's to ourselves. And so when we're there, it's awesome that we get these bad emotions, these awful feelings, because it's a signal. Hey, you're doing it. Take a second, investigate what's really going on. Yeah. Because your brain is probably leading you down the path of, and then you'll die. When it does, that's its job to keep you alive, right? So it's just doing its job. So if we can investigate, then we are in more allowing. And of course, there's other things we can do to kind of get that allowing going. I wanted to say something on when you said something about the journey. I always laugh to myself about that. I used to hate And I mean, and I say that's a strong word. I hated the statement, it's all about the journey, not the destination. Because I was like, get me the heck to the destination. I really don't give a crap. Like, I don't care. Like, just, I want this and I want this now. Why? Because I don't feel good and this is going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
And when I unhooked that, that was one piece, was unhooking the, okay, what if I feel better right now? Now, do I want to take the journey? You know, it's like, then do I? But it was an Abraham Hicks example of a cruise ship that really busted that one for me. I went on one of the Alaskan cruises, and they gave the example of, okay, you're in Seattle, you get on the ship, and you're going to go on an Alaskan cruise, and then you're going to come back to Seattle. And so you get on the ship, and the cruise, you know, the captain says, welcome aboard. We are so happy you're here. And since Seattle is our final destination, we're just not even going to go. And then it all made sense to me. I was like, oh, no. I do want to like go on an adventure. I do want to eagerly anticipate, but not really know what's going to happen. I do love the excitement of not knowing for sure everything. And then getting somewhere and having to figure out my way back to the ship so it doesn't leave me. You know, it's like, I do like that, meeting new people, experiences. So no, I don't want to give that up. And as humans, that is our whole point. And that's the other piece about releasing yourself from the guilt and the punishment is that's not going to be over. You will never, like, you're never done on that. Right. There's not a destination that will get you that until you pop out and die. Like, that's just not going to happen. Right. So look at it as a way to make what you're doing better and better and feel more and more and create more and more, because the more you unhook from that guilt and punishment, the more clear you are on taking those creations and allowing them to actually materialize in your life. So then I started looking at it as a game. Then it became a strategy game, and it became I don't feel good. What's happening? You know, and sometimes it's like, you need to just rest a bit. Like, just take a nap. Yeah. Rest. Stop for a minute. Yeah. You need to just let everything go for a second. And then with that re-energizing came more creative, inspired action instead of that massive action. Right. Now I'm enjoying my path as I do it in inspired action rather than massive action. And sometimes my action is fairly massive, but it's all from an inspired place, which goes back to the time thing. That's where you make time fly, or you make time stand still. We are really the magicians of time in our relationship with that, in how inspired we are in what we're doing. Even if it's, I don't feel good, and I get an inspired thought to go take the nap or go watch a Netflix movie or whatever that is, that's my inspired thought that's supporting me in taking care of myself. And so it's all kind of these little pieces that you're moving down the board of the game of life, right? And you're moving through. And I just find it exciting and fascinating. And from my history as a teacher, I was a classroom teacher for many years, and then corporate trainer. And then, of course, in every business I've had, I always do training, and I always work with teams and do coaching. I didn't know that's what it was called back in the day, but that's what it was. And so being able to relay these concepts in a way where someone can really understand them and then take them through the process of applying them and integrating them into their life is really what I do. So when people ask, what do you do? It's like, I'm a master teacher. Like, that's what I do. Yeah. I teach on subjects I like, and anybody that wants to know that stuff. So.
Yep. Yeah, that guilt thing, I want to come back to that, because especially women, we have such a hard time taking that time to go take a nap, even if it's an inspired thought. I need to take a nap. and we're like, oh, no, we have to do this. I need to do that. It's okay to sit on your couch in your jammies and binge watch Netflix all day long, because that's what your body needs. That's what your brain needs. It's like you need that mental break instead of constantly being in your business. Because I know for me, and I know a lot of other women, not all of them, we go to bed still thinking about what we can do tomorrow, what else should I implement? And so allowing yourself to take those guilt-free breaks is very powerful for your business and for yourself, your health.
Absolutely. And I think the key was, we think, what should I be doing? And if you're shitting on yourself, that is a very big neon sign. Stop it right now. Like, that will get you nowhere. All you're doing is putting that wall between what you want to create and having it materialize. You just stuck a wall up there, because real connected, inspired action knows what you're creating.
Right.
And it is giving you your next steps. That's the other piece I love. Like, I never, ever, ever, ever worry about how anymore.
Yeah.
How am I going to do that?
Big one.
That's not my job. My job is to get really connected to my purest love, appreciation, sense, that feminine energy of all possibilities are not only probabilities, but are sure things. And I get over there and play. And in that play comes the creation of something I really, really want. And as I know that that is happening and I'm moving through, there are signals that I'm stopping it from happening. Mm-hmm. And that should is a total guilt trip. That's it. That's all that is. If you are thinking, I would like to do this, or I want this done, but I don't want to do it, now you're on the road to investigating, right? If you hear I should do this, wait a minute. Why? Why should I do this? Is it because everybody else is doing it and it looks like something I'm supposed to be doing? Well, investigate. Is that going to make it easier? Do you really want to do it? I'll have my clients ask me all the time, well, I should be on Instagram, right? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. It's like, is that something you're called to do? Are you excited about it? Are you getting the message from the inspired pieces of the how that you want to do it? Or did you see a bunch of other people on there and you heard about it and you're thinking that you should do that? If you're doing it out of should, it's not going to get you anywhere. That energy is imbued in it and infused in it, and it's not going to get you anywhere.
I think that's an awesome distinction.
Yes. And so investigate it. It's like, I should do so-and-so. I was like, whoa. Okay. Why? Why should I do that? Like, I should brush my teeth. Why? Oh, because then my gums will be healthy and my teeth will look better and I won't have bad breath. And so therefore, I like my smile. I smile a lot and I like it. And I want there to be teeth there. So now, should I brush my teeth or do I want to brush my teeth? Well, I do know that brushing my teeth will help with that. So I want to do it. Now, does it go on my before bedtime and when I get up in the morning list? Absolutely, because I have a structure to be sure that I don't forget it.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about, what if you had to get up in the morning and really think of everything you had to do? Like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I need to take the covers off. What do I do next? Oh, I put my feet on the floor. What do I do next? Now no. So these structures, until they're a habit, are in place. And so you have morning routines. Like when I was restarting my meditation, I had kind of stopped for a while. I added it on my whiteboard as part of my morning routine because it wasn't a habit. And then I did it long enough where I don't need to write it down anymore because it's not I should meditate. I figured out why I wanted to, and now I've done it enough where it is a habit, and now my sweet brain is helping me because I've meditated a lot, and every time I do, I feel good. So my brain's like, oh, this is a good thing. we want you to keep doing that. And so now that structure I put in place of putting it on the whiteboard, I don't need anymore because my brain has taken over doing that. And that's the same thing in anything else you're doing. What do you want to be doing? If you've got a should, first investigate why. Why should I do it? Does it really a want? I want to do it. The next one is there anyone else that could do this? So brushing my teeth, no, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm quite sure there are people that may pay people to brush their teeth, but I'm not going to do that. I prefer to do it. That's not where I want to put my time and energy, is having someone do it. And if there is someone else that can do it, then now you investigate how to make that happen. If I want it, there is a way. If I want a chef to create my meals that are healthy for me, that I like, that taste good, there is a way. Right now, can I afford a 5-star chef to come into my home and do that? No, it's not in my budget. I could, but if I took every penny I owned, I have other things I really want too. And so what else could I do? Well, I have someone that I work with on my health. I have a health coach. And so she gave me these recipes. So now I don't have to think of what I want to eat. Like, I have them. She knows what I like to eat. So that didn't cost me much. They're not hard to do. She knows I set it up so it's exactly what I want. Now I basically have my food taken care of without me having to make decisions about it. I already made the decision. So it's just little pieces like that throughout your life and your business. Who else can do this? If it's something I want to do, I want to have done, but I don't want to do it.
I love it. I love the analogy of brushing your teeth.
Yeah, right? Because it's not something, like, if we didn't have to do that, would we do it?
Yeah, I mean,
if our teeth were healthy without, like, there's parts of our body we don't clean, like certain parts of the inside of our body. We don't have to do things to it, right? To keep it clean. So
right.
It's like, what if your mouth was like that? Like, there's not a whole lot you do to your eyes. Our tears clean.
What I was just thinking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but there are other places on our body that it is socially a nice thing. And it's also, we prefer, it feels better.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't want necessarily someone else to do it.
Right. Yeah. But what I like about what you said too is that it's a habit. You don't think about it. It's just something that's in your schedule that you've been doing your whole life. And you don't have to think about it. And I like that that's what you said about it, because you're right. You don't think, okay, pull off the covers, sit up, put my feet on the ground, walk over to the bathroom, go tinkle, brush my teeth. You don't think about any of that stuff. It's just something that you do. Even if you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you don't think about all those things. It's just go.
But a baby doesn't know those things.
Right.
So, like, I have a brand new grandbaby, and he and his parents are staying with me right now. And so I'm getting to experience all of this. And it was really, like, I was thinking that, like, there's not a lot that he needs to think about to do.
Right.
And yet everything is taken care of for him. Everything. He has food. When he's tired, he sleeps. When he wants to play, he looks around. Like, everything is taken care of for him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that the other day, about as new things happen, how he is looking at, oh, if I want to get that, what do I need to do? Well, right now it's, hey, people, bring it to me. And if you can't read my mind, I will make a noise that you will then look around to see what I want, right? And then at some point, a child doesn't really want someone else to do it. They want to do it on their own. There's a certain area of development where do it myself becomes everything, right?
Yep.
And we'll begin to practice things but not know, and then those get in. Well, when we look at our our schedules as women, think about how many things you're still running across your brain that you already thought of once. And why am I thinking about this again? Why am I spending my time on this again? I've already discussed this with myself. I already know what I'm doing. Why is it here? Because a fear came up. Let's take a marketing plan. All right. So let's say you're like, I have an awesome retreat that I'm about to have everybody come to, and I want to market it. So what's my marketing plan? And then you get inspired and you put all that down. You have your content calendar. You know what you're doing with all of it. Yet you go to bed.
She's talking about me, folks.
I'm just guessing. Something hits. Maybe I should post this instead. Wonder if I should post 4 more times instead of the 3 more times. Maybe I should call so-and-so. And you start second guessing, because underlying is the fear. Who am I to be doing this awesome event? Is anybody going to come? Blah, 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 that your brain is doing because it's a exciting big thing that you're super excited about. So now your brain's going, wait. You are just fine without this event. Why are we doing this? And you're like, no, I created it. I can't wait for it to, and your brain's like, oh, whoa, stop. And how does it stop you? Well, there's certain things that you don't let it stop you about anymore. Like balls rolling, we're not stopping. Right? So now it can't go like, why are you doing this? Because it's like, that's done. That ship's passed. So now it's looking for new things and ways to stop you, because you're a really smart woman. So your brain starts coming up with really smart ways to stop you. So the smarter you are, the more stealth and more it looks like something that you shouldn't do. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. That might hurt someone's feelings. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Someone may feel bad because you're doing this. Or maybe it will get in there, and it gets in there in the guise of guilt and punishment because of fear.
I like that you said stealth. The brain is very stealthy.
It is. And so, here's what I've started doing, going, ooh, smart me. I am so smart. I am so intelligent that I know what's happening. My brain had to go way down to some ridiculous thing that I had no idea was still flying under the radar, right? And in the middle, that's that kind of as you do your creation, whatever you're going to do, it's like, why wouldn't it work? And you make that list of, why wouldn't this work? And the craziest junk will come out of your pen onto your paper. And if you do that, then you can investigate it. And you can do it in time, like even at night. Mm-hmm. Say, well, why not? Well, and your brain will go, because people are going to stone you if you do. You're like,
and you're going to die.
You're going to die. I am not going to die. And until then, if it still is messing with you, now you can come up with, get inspired, something to get that brain to shut off. I'm thinking back now, 6 years. For 6 years. Because 6 years ago was when my big contrast of my life happened that was so life-changing. I lost everything. My kids were in major stuff going on with them, and my life, it was just chaos and craziness. And it looked like very real situations that me or my kids might die. Like there were real situations. Right. And the amount of brain stuff at night was insane. So what can I do? Because me trying to think it through is just sending me down the path of more momentum of fear. So I turned on the TV really low, and Friends was on. And for some reason, the Friends show, their laugh track isn't really loud. It's kind of softer. They don't argue too much, so there's not a whole lot of negative sound coming out. And so I could watch it and gradually turn the volume down and go to sleep with my brain relaxed. And the more I did that, the more I woke up with a relaxed brain. Because wherever you go to sleep, your vibration of that, when you wake up, as soon as you become aware that you are no longer in sleep, you're awake, your brain will pop right back to where that was. So it's super important at night that you clean it out and clear it out. And I just now, it's been 6 years of that. And about 2 months ago, I started going to sleep without having to watch it. And if my brain starts going, I now know which channel has Friends on. And Golden Girls works too. I've noticed that one works for me too. And I'll pop it on for just a few minutes, and then I'm awake, able to shut it off and go to sleep.
That's
my
awesome.
health is better too, which adds to that. I'm taking care of myself during the day, and I don't do those shoulds anymore.
Right.
So there's not so much momentum of fear, of guilt, of punishment going. Not that there's not. It does pop up, but it pops up in different ways now. It's like we're now down to the bottom of the barrel. I used to use this analogy for that. It's like the first time you really work on an issue, like men, money, self-worth, whatever. First time you work on it, it's like taking a big barrel of toxic waste and dumping it. And a whole lot comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you feel so much better. I did that work. I'm done. No.
You're done. You're never done. Another layer.
Yes. The next time you work on it, it's like taking a big rag and wiping out the gunk that's still kind of wet and on the side, right? And then you feel better. And it doesn't take as long because the initial dump was all of it, right? It doesn't take as long, and then you feel a little bit better. Then the next time, you need to scrub a little on it, right? Yeah. And some of us, as we reach a certain age and we have done a certain amount of work, we are taking a chisel and a hammer, and but we get a big chunk off, and it doesn't take very long, and we can feel that next level happen. And that's what is going on at night or whenever these things, it's like as you stop doing so many shoulds, you're doing more of what you want. It's not that those initial data that you put in your brain goes away. It's those neural pathways get more and more filled, and they don't hit all the time. It's usually when you're doing something really stretchy, like if it's a bigger stretch, now your brain goes back to where else do we know to not do this? And it starts looking at anything else that it can pull up with that. And that becomes the, for God's sake, am I not done with this yet?
Right. Like, again, here we go.
Yeah.
I love what you said about the TV and how you were able to, in that time during your life, you found something that was the TV, which everyone pretty much has. And what I want to talk about is that was just an easy tool that was in your house that you were able to use to help calm your mind and help you go to sleep, so you could actually go to sleep and wake up refreshed and with a calm mind. I think that was an important thing to say, because it's just a quick tip that you can use in your life. There's so many things in your house or in your life that you can use. You don't have to go out and buy all these extravagant things. For sure. I wanted to point that out because I thought that was. I love
that you're saying that, because we talked about morning ritual, and there is the nighttime ritual. Well, those of us that had kiddos, we made a little nighttime ritual for them, a routine, so that they knew, like, the lights go down, the TV goes down, the games go off. You can play in your room a little bit, or get all cleaned up, brush teeth, get your jammies on, get in bed and read for a while, which is another one as an adult. But what are you reading? Like, that's not probably the time to read the murder mystery.
Guilty.
That's just, that heads you in, it's fearful. So therefore your brain's now looking for more fear things for you when you close the book. So I have my Jane Austen anthology next to my bed, which is another one. If I don't feel like turning the TV on, I'm not really sleepy yet, then I'll pull that one and read through because it's, flowers and romance and that kind of thing. That's like a Hallmark Channel type reading because it makes me feel good.
Right.
And so then I can shut the book and I get really sleepy reading, and that's another one. So it's your routine. As adults, we're like, oh, I'm going to get ready for bed and then turn the news on.
Yeah, no.
Never. No. So what can you do? Some people are more morning people. Some people are more night owls. So if you're a night owl, is another thing. Is it okay to go to bed really late at night and get up late in the morning? If you have your own business, yes.
Yeah. You don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. If that's who you are, why should you be something else? Yes. Is it okay to go to bed at 8 at night and get up at 4 in the morning? Yes.
Absolutely.
Whatever feels right. That I had someone the other day that was like, I'm trying to start getting up at 5 a.m. And I said, okay, why? Well, because I heard that you should, and it's a good thing. I'm like, okay, let's see why you would want to do that. When's your energy? We all have these clocks in us, right? Every one of us has that time of day that's our really powerful time of day. And when is yours? And she was like, oh, 9 p.m. Man, I light up at 9, and from 9 to midnight, I am on fire. I go, it's kind of like you could totally do a whole day's work if you worked between 9 and 12. She's like, yeah. And I go, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
But then I can't get up at 5. Why are you getting up at 5?
I recently had that conversation. Someone had done a post about it, that they get up at 4 so they can have their time before the kids get up and all this. And there were all these people piping in that, oh yeah, I do that too. I get up at 4 or 5. I'm like, I would be a zombie, a grouchy zombie all day long. I would need 15 cups of coffee to keep me going through the day. Like, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I'm good at 7, 8. I'm perfect. But it really goes down to what works for you. Now, obviously, if you have a 9-to-5 job or any kind of job where you're on the clock, you got to get up and you got to be there. However, on the entrepreneurial world, you set your time. You don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because you see 5 other people doing it, especially if it's not going to work for you.
Exactly. And that goes to your whole schedule for the week. I worked in a really large coaching business before I rebooted mine, and multi-million-dollar business, awesome coaching business. And so because the owner did their coaching sessions one right after another, 1 or 2 days a week, and they did other things, some of us were doing that, and that does not work well for me. And so I was like saying, oh, I just, what do you have? Why are you so tired? Well, I'm just having well, why are you doing it that way? Well, because, I saw you doing it that way. It's like, no, same thing with that. So sometimes for me personally, I'm a morning person. And to me, after 9 p.m., I'm like, what's the point? I just feel like that. I'm like, I can't, after 6 p.m., creativity is done. It's gone. And I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's in that 9-hour stretch, right? So I've tried, no. If I sleep through my morning powerhouse time, I don't have a powerhouse time.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
It's important for you to know.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, so my creative time is early in the morning. And when is my action time of things that I'm so high that I can do pretty much anything and it doesn't bother me? That comes right after that.
Mm-hmm.
The afternoon is this time where, because I so love coaching, that if I know I've got a coaching call, I immediately energize and I'm there. So I started setting my coaching in the afternoons, my calls, if I have sales calls or discovery calls in the afternoon, because the minute I hear someone's voice, I'm on. I'm like, I'm here for you. Interestingly, Have you heard of human design? Have you gotten into that at all? Okay. So I'm a projector, surprise. And so in that is the ask. It's like when you were like, oh, would you like to be on my show? I am, yeah. And like here and blah, 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 you know, like all in it, right? That's my shine part, right? So if I have a call scheduled in my heart and soul, I know that person has asked. So therefore I am on, like totally.
Yeah.
I can do that in the afternoon. I don't do any work after 6 p.m. And it's not because, oh, my day's over at 6. It's because I am no good. I can't do a coaching call. I can't do like, no, I'm just, do I still have energy? Yes. So it's really interesting the things I can do at what times a day. So I do my schedule very specifically that way. I used to be, and this is the other habit thing, I used to do really strong time blocking. I figured this out for myself. I put those time blocks in. I don't do a to-do list anymore. It goes in the block. Oh, I want to go to the grocery store. When is that happening? Today, noon. Okay, great. I want to, go for a hike. When is that happening? Here. I want to do one post a day. When is that happening? And so it might be I do some scheduled or whatever, but it goes in there. Then I did that for so long that I naturally time block. And so I can now have a day list. I don't do more than one day at a time. I do some scheduling out when I do big planning. But for that day, I wake up knowing what I want to get done. And I really do my meditation and my journaling. And then I feel into what do I really want to do today? And if I know I want to do a post every day and I don't feel like it that day, for whatever reason, I have ones done that I can just pop up. But maybe I feel like writing a bunch of them because I'm like on fire. So I'll write a bunch of them. But now my time, I know I've got to get up at this certain time because if I want to do these things, this is when it works for me. So I have a personal life list and I have my work list. And that is on my whiteboard and it gets erased as it gets done. And it gets done. Everything on there has a time that day and it gets done. But I don't over plan.
Right.
I have so much buffer in my day. It's honestly, I probably work. If you don't count the journaling as work, because that's where most of my creativity comes from and my stuff.
We're not going to count that as work because that is a process of self-care.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that, I get inspired for my work. Like that's what does it. So I'm going to say 4 hours a day. Yeah. And I have a post on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at least 4 times a week, if not 6. That's my, 4 times is my minimum. 6 is my stretch. On all 3 of those, I do a YouTube every week. I have a podcast every week. I usually have some kind of training going, right? Or I'm creating a course. So I have some sort of creation piece going. I go live either on stories or on my somewhere. I go live at least twice a week. And I create the content for all that. Plus I have calls, coaching, all that. And it really boils down to about 4 hours a day.
Isn't that amazing? And you know why? Because it's inspired and it's intentional.
Very.
So you have the mixture of that inspired and that intentional, and it's condensed into a 4-hour workday. I mean, that's beautiful.
I work the mindset along all day, every day. That's my work.
Yeah.
My work is paying attention to how I feel. And when I don't feel good, investigating it, seeing if I need to rest, seeing what needs to happen. Do I need to journal something? I just need to figure out what's going on so that drops, and now it happens. So it
Yeah.
goes from thought to do it to done.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's about what I call radical responsibility. You've really stepped into what works for you and taking responsibility for everything your day, when you get up, how you feel, all of those things. And it boils that down into that inspired work and that intention.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, it's like, once you realize you do, this is the start. You're like, oh, I control my life. I am the one that's doing it. I create it. I get to have it however I want. That then starts the creation. And then the leverage of the why. That's the other little key ingredient. Why am I doing this? Like, why do I have this business? And I've got a couple of more, some other businesses I'm starting because I'm getting back into real estate. I've got a couple of clients that are in real estate, and I'm getting involved in the business in a way because I love it. And why? Because I love it.
Yeah. That's my why.
It's like when I'm not doing something in it, I feel like, like I'm a HGTV obsessed, I love it. And so it's that why. Why do I have this business? Because I want to help leaders of women around the world know their own permission and power and then lead other women. Like, that's it. If I ever am like, do I want to write this post? I think of them and I'm on.
Yep.
It's that leveraging that why. Why do I do what I do with friends? Why do I do what I do with family? Where are my boundaries in all that? It's around my why.
Yeah.
And it's around what do I want? Because if I show up somewhere because I should be there, I'm not really bringing the joy to the party.
Yeah.
So either I need to find a why that I want to be there.
Yeah.
Or I need to not go.
Yeah. And it's making that decision, taking that responsibility for yourself.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, now then there are no more victims.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Done.
Yep.
Eradicated.
Yep.
Not that bad things don't happen to us.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, we live with other people and natural disasters on a planet. Like, we're in physical bodies. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
But what I do with that, I'm in control of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say, our last conversation we had on the virtual summit, we talked about decisions, and I love what you've created around that decision, because it's not just a decision, it's a
declaration.
I love that, because there's so much power in a declaration versus, literally every day you're making decisions, choices, decisions, whether or not you're going to brush your teeth, even if it's a habit. It's still a choice. And you're making these decisions, even micro decisions, every day. And when you talked about it being a declaration, especially for big decisions you have to make.
Something that's a stretch.
Yeah, creating it and taking it on as a declaration just expands it and makes you, you're just dropping into power right there.
Absolutely. That all comes from, I realized I first had, I created a time management course, which I will be launching here in July, which I'm excited about.
Yay.
And I realized that it did no good unless it's for women. It did no good unless they learned how to make decisions. Like, if you can't make decisions that you follow through with, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your time. You're not going to do what you want to be doing. So that's just it. So I realized there was a precursor. There was a prerequisite course. And that became the decision escalator. And in that, I came up with a little, like a cheat sheet on that. That's just these 3 steps. But going into the decision process comes from the creating and then the choosing.
Yeah. Yep.
And choosing from a not should, not can, but really, really, really want it. right? And if I really, really want it, then I need to know it has already happened. And what will leverage that knowing? Because that knowing keeps you from worrying that it won't.
Yeah.
I mean, what if it doesn't stops us from what if it does all the time? Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Write that down.
Readable. What if it doesn't stops us from what if it does all the time? So you have to get rid of what if it doesn't, and you have to know it will. Period.
Yep.
It will. It will. How? Not my job.
Thinking of the how. Yep. Get rid of the how. It doesn't matter how.
No. And the declaration, you state that why and declare it. Now you know. Like, do you see me sit up?
Yeah. You're like, whew.
You do. It drops. And why do we sit up? Because it drops from up here and here down into your solar plexus. And it is just,
that's your power.
And then there's nothing anyone can do or say that will stop you. I got that. I realized that because I had done it innately a couple of times and didn't know what my process had been. So I love processes. I love structures and systems that processes so that I can recreate awesomeness happening again. And I realized that the first time I did that with ease, that process of decision, no, and then allow it, was when I grew up in Houston and I'd lived there my whole life, went to college nearby, came back. And I had said I wanted to move to Austin. I got married in college, had a baby, all that good stuff. And it just, it was just this pipe dream thing that happened. Well, when we separated and I realized I now was making decisions for myself and I'd never left my family. I'd always been there. I'd never left that. I never done. And something in me was burning to go. And I wanted to go to Austin. I had only been to Austin once.
Wow.
When I was a teenager. I didn't really know what all it was going to be. But all of a sudden, I was like, I'm going. The decision was made. I declared it. And if you declare it out loud to somebody else, girl, that's, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're done.
It's happening.
Now they're watching.
It's happening.
And you've got to already know it first, because what's going to happen next is everybody else's fear will all come up and they'll project it to you. And if you relate to any of that fear, you'll listen and you'll hear it with guilt or punishment. And I got both guilt projection and punishment projection for making this choice. It was, you'll never get a job. You're a teacher. There's 5 colleges there. You'll never get a job. What are you doing? You don't know anyone. You have a toddler. We're not going to come see you. Family's not going to come see you. So you've basically lost your family, right? Yeah. It was just on and on and on and on. It was like I had Superwoman. It was like, hit me with it. Bang, it was gone. I was like, I don't care. And just was, what's next? Oh, send an application I need to probably go check it out, see what it looks like, see where I want to live. Took a little trip, find where I wanted to live, chose the school district, sent an application, immediately got 2 interviews, then got 2 offers, found myself a house, moved me and my son there. It was so easy.
And see, that's the thing. You had a declaration, clarity happened, action happened, and just the pieces started falling into place. Yeah. I absolutely love this conversation. You are so amazing. We could probably just keep going on all day. But before we wrap up, I want you to share with the audience how they can find you.
Okay. So feel free to email me. I always will do a first complimentary call with someone. That's a free coaching session on anything that we've talked about here or anything going on in your business. I'm happy to do that. You can email me at darla@darladelane.com. And then I'm also on Facebook. I have a business page there where I do all these kind of inspirational posts. I'll make announcements when I'm doing free challenges and trainings. On my Facebook business page, which is Darla Delane Coach Speaker. And then I'm also on Instagram because I want to be.
You made that decision, that declaration.
I had to learn it because I hadn't done my business there before. I've enjoyed that.
Awesome.
And I'm there, and there also, the posts and stories there. I give some behind the scenes and some additional kind of insight to some things. So would love, love, love to have you connect with me there and for us to get a discussion going, and would super, super enjoy that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. If you want to still ask questions, we will go into, let me find it here. Here we go. Go to facebook.com/Aphrodite Enterprises Inc., where this showed live, and we will pop in and answer any questions. Darla will jump in, tag her in the comments so she can find it easily. And thank you. What an amazing conversation. We'll probably have to just have you on again, or we'll just go live on Facebook.
No, it has.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, and have a blessed day.